The Angel by Oliver's Window. Oliver was the kind of little boy who noticed small things. He noticed the way raindrops raced each other down the glass. He noticed when one sock felt tighter than the other. He noticed when his mother smiled with her mouth, but not quite with her eyes. And lately, Oliver had noticed a great many things that felt heavy in his heart. He noticed that ever since his family moved to the little blue house at the edge of Maple Street, nothing felt quite right. His old room had been painted sunshine yellow. His new room was pale and plain. His old school had smelled like crayons and peanut butter sandwiches. His new school smelled like waxy floors and sharpened pencils. At his old school, Oliver had friends who knew he liked to draw dragons and hated the mushy peas from the lunchroom. They knew he sometimes needed a little extra time to say what he was thinking, because the words in his head were fast, but the words in his mouth sometimes got tangled. At his new school, nobody knew that. And because nobody knew, Oliver had begun to feel like he was carrying an invisible backpack full of rocks. Every morning he woke up with a tight feeling in his chest. Every afternoon he came home quiet. And every night he lay in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering if tomorrow would feel any easier. But tomorrow never seemed to. One Monday, his teacher asked everyone to read aloud from a storybook about a fox in the forest. When it was Oliver's turn, he stood up with the book in his hands. He looked at the words. He knew the words. But the moment everyone looked at him, his heart began to thump like a drum, and the first word caught in his throat. A boy in the back gave a tiny giggle. Oliver's cheeks burned. He tried again. But the word would not come out properly. And now the room felt too warm, and too bright, and too full of eyes. His teacher gently helped him with the sentence, but by then, Oliver wanted to disappear. At recess, he sat on the edge of the playground and pushed dirt around with the toe of his shoe. The swings creaked. The children shouted. A cold wind rustled the leaves. Oliver wished he could fold himself into something very small, like a note tucked inside a pocket. That evening, he barely touched his soup. His mother noticed, of course, because mothers notice things too. "Hard day?" she asked softly. Oliver shrugged. His father reached over and squeezed his shoulder. "New places can take time," he said quietly. Oliver nodded, but inside he thought, how much time? A week? A month? 100 years? After his parents kissed him goodnight and the house grew still, Oliver lay awake in bed beneath his patchwork blanket. Outside, the moon hung low and bright, like a silver lantern in the sky. The branches of the maple tree brushed lightly against his window. Scratch, scratch, whisper. Oliver pulled the blanket closer under his chin. "I wish," he whispered to the dark, "I wish someone could help me." No sooner had he said it than the room grew strangely still. Not scary still, not empty still, but the kind of stillness that feels like the whole world is holding its breath. Then, from near the window, a soft glow appeared. Oliver sat up. At first, he thought it was moonlight. But the glow grew warmer and brighter, shimmering like candlelight on water, until it gathered itself into the shape of a person. Oliver gasped, but somehow he was not afraid. Standing near the window was a figure clothed in light. Not the blinding kind of light that hurts your eyes. Gentle light. Golden light. The sort of light that makes everything feel safe. The figure had kind eyes, and a face that seemed both young and old, as if it had smiled for 1,000 years. Two pale wings curved behind them, not stiff like feathers on a bird, but soft and glowing, as though they were woven from moonbeams and dawn. "Oliver," the figure said, and their voice sounded like music played very quietly. "Do not be frightened." Oliver clutched his blanket. "Are you an angel?" The figure smiled. "Yes." Oliver blinked 3 times, just to be certain he was not dreaming. "But why are you here?" "Because," said the angel, stepping closer. "You asked for help." Oliver swallowed. "I didn't think anyone would hear." The angel tilted their head. "More is heard in the quiet of night than children sometimes know." Oliver looked down at his hands. "I'm not very brave." The angel sat gently on the edge of his desk chair, and the room filled with a soft gold hush. "Bravery is not a person who never trembles," the angel said. "Bravery is a trembling person who takes one small step anyway." Oliver thought about that. It sounded beautiful, but it also sounded hard. I don't like school here, he admitted in a rush. And sometimes the words get stuck, and then people stare, and I know what I want to say, but I can't say it right. And I miss my old house and my old friends, and I don't want to be the new kid forever. The angel listened without interrupting. That, Oliver noticed, was a lovely thing. When he finished, the angel nodded as though every word mattered. You have been carrying many heavy things, they said. Oliver's eyes prickled a little. It feels like I'm doing everything wrong. The angel raised one glowing hand. In the air between them appeared 3 tiny lights, floating like little stars. One light was silver, one was blue, one was gold. These, said the angel, are gifts that have always been near you. Tonight, I will help you see them. Oliver reached out, though he did not touch. What are they? The silver light is for peace, said the angel. The blue light is for truth. The gold light is for courage. But if I had courage, I wouldn't be scared. The angel's smile deepened. Ah, that is what many people think. But courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is what you choose while fear is still whispering. Then the angel stood and held out a hand. Come, they said. Oliver hesitated only a moment before slipping out of bed. The instant his hand touched the angel's, the room melted away like mist in sunlight. Suddenly, Oliver found himself standing in a wide, moonlit field. The grass shimmered silver. The sky above was deep blue and dusted with stars. Somewhere nearby, a stream sang over smooth stones. In the distance stood 3 places: a dark wood, a narrow bridge, and a hill crowned by a single shining tree. Where are we? Oliver asked. In the place where hearts learn. Oliver wasn't exactly sure what that meant, but it seemed important. The angel pointed toward the dark wood. First, the forest. As they walked toward it, Oliver began to hear voices drifting from between the trees. Little voices. Sharp voices. You sound funny. What if you mess up? What if nobody likes you? What if you never belong? Oliver stopped. That's what it sounds like in my head, he whispered. Yes, said the angel, this is the forest of worry. Many children wander near it. Some grown-ups do too. Oliver peered into the shadows. The voices curled around the tree trunks like fog. I don't want to go in there. You do not have to go in alone, said the angel. They touched the silver light, and at once it drifted into Oliver's chest, warm as soup on a winter day. Then, another. The tight knot inside him loosened just a little. Peace, the angel said, does not always remove the forest. Sometimes it simply gives you calm feet to walk through it. So Oliver walked. The voices still whispered, but now they seemed farther away. When one hissed, "What if you fail?" Oliver breathed in slowly and answered, "Then I will try again." When another murmured, "What if they laugh?" Oliver said, "Then I will still be me." The forest did not vanish, but it no longer seemed so powerful. They came out the other side, into moonlight again. Oliver looked back in surprise. It got smaller. The angel nodded. Worries often do once they are walked through. Next they came to the bridge. It was made of pale wood and stretched across a deep, shadowy ravine. The boards looked narrow. The wind whooshed softly below. Oliver stepped back. "I can't," he said. The angel turned to him. "What is true?" Oliver stared. "I don't know." The angel touched the blue light. It floated into Oliver's chest, cool and bright like the first breath of morning air. At once he felt clearer inside. Not bigger, not stronger, just clearer. "What is true?" the angel asked again. Oliver swallowed. "Yes," said the angel. "And what else is true?" Oliver looked closer. "It's strong." "Yes," he listened, "but it isn't pushing me. And I know how to walk." The angel smiled. "Truth," they said, "is stronger than imagination when you let it speak." Oliver placed one foot on the bridge, then another. The boards creaked, but they held. Halfway across, his knees shook. "What is true?" the angel called gently from beside him. Oliver kept going. "My legs are shaky," he said, "but I'm still moving." He made it to the other side. And when he did, he laughed out loud, a bright, surprised laugh that bounced into the night. "I did it!" "Yes," said the angel, "you did." At last they climbed the hill toward the shining tree. Its branches glittered like tiny stars had made nests there. Golden leaves rustled softly overhead. At the foot of the tree sat a small wooden bench. Now, said the angel, for courage. They touched the gold light, and it entered Oliver's chest with a warm, glowing hum. Oliver felt something change. Not that his fear was gone. It was still there, small and fluttery. But now something else stood beside it. Something steady. Something bright. The angel sat with him on the bench. Tomorrow, they said, you will still be the new boy. Oliver's face fell a little. But, the angel continued, you will not be the same boy who went to sleep tonight. Oliver thought about the forest, the bridge, the hill. He thought about peace, truth, and courage, all glowing quietly inside him. What should I do tomorrow? He asked. The angel looked up into the golden leaves. Do one brave thing, then one kind thing, then one honest thing. One brave thing, Oliver repeated. One kind thing, one honest thing. The angel nodded. Then they reached up into the shining tree and plucked a single feather made of soft gold light. It did not look like an ordinary feather. It shimmered as if it remembered sunshine. The angel placed it in Oliver's palm. You may not always see me, they said, but help can remain, even after the night is over. Oliver held the feather carefully. What if I forget? You will, said the angel kindly. Sometimes. Oliver blinked. I will? Yes, people forget. Then they remember. Then they forget again. That is why courage must be practiced, like reading or tying your shoes. Oliver liked that. It made bravery seem less like magic and more like something he could learn. The angel stood. The moon above them glowed brighter. The tree leaves whispered. The world seemed to lean in close. It is time, the angel said. Oliver suddenly felt sad. Will I see you again? The angel touched his forehead gently. In every quiet, brave choice, they said, I will be nearer than you think. The hill dissolved. The tree melted into golden mist. The moonlight folded in on itself. And then, Oliver was back in his room. He was tucked in bed. The window was closed. The maple branches brushed softly outside. For a moment, he wondered if it had all been a dream. Then he opened his hand. There, resting in his palm, was one tiny golden feather. He smiled. And before long, Oliver fell asleep more peacefully than he had in many weeks. The next morning, the world looked ordinary again. His cereal still got a little soggy. His shoelace still came untied in the car. The school building still seemed too big. But inside Oliver, something had shifted. At recess, he saw a little girl sitting alone near the fence, turning a jump rope slowly in her hands. Usually Oliver would have looked away, too shy to say anything. But today, he remembered. One brave thing, one kind thing, one honest thing. He took a breath and walked over. Do you want someone to jump with? He asked. The girl looked up, surprised, then smiled. Okay, that was his brave thing. At reading time, Oliver's teacher asked for volunteers to help pass out books. Oliver raised his hand, even though it wobbled a little. That was his kind thing. And later, when his teacher gently asked if he wanted to try reading just one sentence aloud, Oliver felt the old fear stir again. The room seemed bright. The book felt heavy. His heart beat fast. But then he remembered the bridge. What is true? The sentence was short. His teacher was kind. He knew the words. His voice sometimes stumbled, but it still belonged to him. Oliver stood. He read the first word carefully. Then the second. He got stuck on the third. His cheeks warmed. But instead of giving up, he paused, breathed, and tried again. This time the word came. Then the next. Then the next. When he finished the sentence, the room was quiet. And then his teacher smiled. Thank you, Oliver, she said. Not in a pitying way, not in a hurried way, in a real way, the kind that says, I saw that. You did something hard. Oliver sat down and a warm feeling spread through him. Not pride exactly, not relief exactly. Something deeper. Like a tiny golden light had been lit beneath his ribs. That afternoon, the boy who had giggled before came over while they were lining up for home. Hey, he said awkwardly, looking at his shoes. I liked your dragon drawing from art class. Oliver blinked. Thanks. They were quiet for a moment. Then the boy said, My name's Mason. Oliver, said Oliver, even though Mason probably already knew. But that was all right. Sometimes friendships begin with small, obvious things. When Oliver got home, he ran to his room and looked in the drawer where he had hidden the golden feather before school. It was still there, faintly glowing in the shadows. He did not touch it. He didn't need to. That night, after bath time and stories and teeth brushing, Oliver climbed into bed and looked out at the moon. The maple branches scratched softly at the window. Scratch, scratch, whisper. Thank you, he whispered into the quiet. No shining figure appeared. No golden glow filled the room. And yet Oliver did not feel alone. He placed one hand over his chest. Peace, truth, courage. They were still there. Not huge, not loud, not magical in the way thunder is magical. Magical in the way seeds are magical. Small enough to hold, strong enough to grow. Oliver smiled into the dark. Tomorrow might still be hard in places. There might still be tangled words, lonely moments, and new things to face. But now he knew something he had not known before. Hard things could be walked through. Scary bridges could be crossed. And even a little boy in a new house, with a trembling voice and a heavy heart, could shine with a brave light all his own. Outside, the moon kept watch over Maple Street. Inside, Oliver's breathing slowed, and somewhere, just beyond what eyes can see, an angel smiled. Then the night wrapped itself gently around the little blue house, and Oliver slept, peaceful, safe, and full of golden dreams.